Born Out of Quarantine, a podcast where a guy tries to learn new stuff and then tell his friend about it. I'm that guy. My name is Brandon Castro, and my friend is Nathaniel. Now, it's not that simple. Nathaniel's going to pick the subject, and then I'm going to come back with 26, hopefully, interesting facts. One fact that I learned for every letter in the alphabet, all with the goal of being able to do this in under 26 minutes. Hence, 26 and 26, the A to Z of everything. Let's begin. Hello, 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 hello!
Hello, Governor! Hello!
Governor!
How you doing?
I am well, man. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking.
I'm so glad to hear it. I am so glad to hear it. I'm also super excited for doing number one, episode numero uno
Number
on
one.
26 and 26. Are you ready, Nathaniel? Are you ready?
I am ready.
You say you're ready, but are you ready?
I think I am. Well, I didn't have to prep anything. You had to prep. I get to sit here and distract you and just kind of have fun. Like, at some point, I should crack open a beer and make this really fun.
Once we get a little more comfortable, it's definitely going to be beer o'clock on this podcast for sure.
Yes, it will. But before we get started, Brandon, I want to know, what is your highlight of the week?
Okay, highlight of the week. I've got a great one. Probably going to be the best one that I maybe ever deliver. I got to tell my friends and family this week that I am having a little baby girl, our first child.
Congratulations!
It was a long time coming. I am not a young man, and to be having our first child now is definitely weird, but we are stoked and we couldn't be happier. So yeah, highlight is probably an understatement to say the least.
Probably. Also, I would hope that it's a little more of a week highlight and a little more of like a life highlight.
Yeah, it's definitely, falls in that life highlight area. But yeah, for me, over the moon. What about you? What's going on with you, buddy?
I got my second vaccine shot yesterday.
Man,
I am
got some
2
good
weeks
highlights.
away. I'm 2 weeks away from being able to lick doorknobs again, and I can't tell you how excited I am.
Looking forward to you being able to cough in my general direction. That's going to be nice.
Oh, exactly. Well, the other highlight, obviously, is this episode.
Boom,
We
boom.
have been prepping for this. We've been talking about this. We've been practicing this.
Get my
and we're
learn
ready.
on.
We're here. We are ready. It's time. Are you ready? What are we talking about?
Well, I'm ready. And one, I am a smarter individual, having had learned about birds.
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 Like
Turns out,
flat birds.
2 wings, birds. Turns out they're real. Been hearing a
Are
lot of
they?
people recently talking about how birds aren't real. Turns out they are.
Sounds like government conspiracy to me.
I don't know what it is. It definitely sounds stupid. Anybody who says birds aren't real, don't get me wrong. They're exactly who I want to sit next to on a plane at talk to at a party. I want to, dude, if you sit down next to someone, they're like, hey, birds are real. And you're like, yeah, I agree. And then nothing. That's not a very fun conversation. I want to talk to the guy who goes, hey, birds aren't real, right? Oh yeah. You're my guy. 6-hour flight. I'm hoping for a layover.
Oh God. See, I'll do it at the bar because I can leave the bar if it goes south.
That's true.
If I'm on a 6-hour transcontinental flight, they frown upon you opening up the emergency exit and jumping out of the plane. So I'll do the bar. Yeah. Anything else?
You're going to remember that flight for the rest of your life. You're going to always be going, hey, one time I sat on a plane for 6 hours next to a guy who was telling me birds aren't real. So...
And that I'd be praying at that point that our plane hit a bird. It might not end well for us, but what a way to end.
The guy would just straight up say drone strike.
That doesn't happen here. All right. Well, we're doing 26 and 26 of birds. You're ready. I'm ready. I've got the timer here. I'm going to hit start in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. You're starting with the alphabet. You start historically with the letter A, and that is for
Typically
the albatross. Now, this is interesting because this bird really hits home for me. While it sleeps, it flies. All right. It can sleep and cruise at 25 miles per hour.
What?
Yeah.
I can't walk and chew gum, and this thing's flying and sleeping?
It's literally asleep at the wheel in air, cruising 25 miles an hour and just gets its sleep on. No big deal.
Is it still flapping or is it like gliding?
No, as a matter of fact, an albatross can soar for as long as 6 hours without moving its wings once.
That's, dude,
6
letter A,
hours.
You are bringing it. I am already excited about this.
Oh, we've got some good facts in store that I learned, some of which, others, incredible. So bear with us. Not everything is going to be as cool as sleep flying, which is,
I mean, we started with birds are real and some of them can sleep while flying. It's a solid start.
The only thing more messed up and weirder than that is the bearded vulture. So we're moving right along to letter B, the bearded vulture. All right. The bearded vulture, its diet consists of 70 to 90% bone. All right. It eats bones. All right. It's the only bird in the world that actually whose diet consists of this. It bashes larger bones into smaller, more manageable like pieces by dropping them. It flies them up to height, elevation, drops the bones. All right. So the bones then shatter and it goes down and eats the marrow from the bones and like all the fragments on the ground. And this is, I mean, how atrocious. I mean, how disrespected are you if those are your bones? Not only did it kill you, but it's taking your dead bones, dropping them from height, and then just eating all the little shards. I mean, what a routine to watch. That was pretty wild.
Did it kill you? Or because I thought vultures ate stuff that was already dead.
Oh, that's probably true. No, that's accurate. That's probably accurate.
You get
probably didn't kill
taken out by some badass predator. Hopefully,
but it's disrespecting your corpse, I guess.
Exactly, then. It's still disrespectful. I mean, what would be amazing is if it hit an albatross on the way down. He's
asleep, just all chilling, just like just cruising along.
Falls out of the sky.
Is that a damn bone that just hit me? What was that? One thing that the bearded vultures do definitely is something that's unique in the entire animal kingdom to prove their dominance over other birds. They
as if dropping bones.
As if dropping your bones and eating them isn't enough. I mean, 70 to 90% of their diet is just bone. That's crazy. Wow. Anyway, they'll dye their beards. I don't know how they do it. I have to assume it's blood. I actually was looking into it quite a bit, and all I could find was that their stomachs have such corrosive acid that it can digest anthrax. So if it eats a carcass it's been infected with anthrax, their stomach acid's like, no worries, no biggie. Don't worry about it.
That's amazing.
That is pretty wild.
I don't even have anything for that. I'm just sitting here dropping bones. Well, I know
we all have stomach acid. All right. But will dissolve just some gnarly stuff. But you got to think, if you're a vulture, you're eating already on dead stuff. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that you would have to have a stomach that would, have that corrosive a level of acid in it. But
you're not going to find a gluten-free vulture.
Nope. Oh. Nope. All right. I'm not going to let you take up any more of my time. We are moving along to the letter C, and that is for the California Condor. All right.
Ooh, that's the big one, right?
I'm glad you said that, because that's what was so impressive about the California Condor. It's that its wingspan. I mean, we're going to talk about other birds, but this bird's wingspan is the only bird that sometimes gets mistaken for small aircraft. Almost 10 feet from wingtip to wingtip, which is impressive.
That's a big bird.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think that's probably why they're on the brink of extinction, because you see something that big in the sky. I'll be honest with you. I love animals, but at the same time, 10-foot wingspan, I'm kind of going to my, caveman brain going, I think we got to kill it. We probably got to kill it. It's going to get a kid, maybe it's because I'm about to be a new dad. I don't know.
That's got to be able to pick up something bigger than it probably should.
Oh yeah. If you have a small dog and you a 10-foot wingspan California condors coming up, yeah, you've got to take it out. But they are, at one point, the species was brought down to almost 20, just as few as 22 birds in total existence. They've done a captive breeding program, and now there are over 400, and at least half of which have been released to just fly free and terrorize small families.
Hell yeah. Look out, little people.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that little people do not have to look out for is ducks.
I was hoping you'd say dodo bird.
No, that's true. That is true.
You don't have to look out for them either.
No need looking out for them. You are not going to encounter one. Ducks you probably will encounter, and you'll probably not be able to sneak up on a ducks, because this was something I found out that was really cool about ducks. They sleep in like little pods, little groups. All right.
Okay.
But the ducks that are sleeping along the perimeter, all right, they'll take turns sleeping on the perimeter. And the ones that are on the perimeter will actually sleep with one eye open. Half of their brain shuts off and the other half stays alert, allowing for the one eye to monitor for predators so they won't be able to sneak up on them.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that.
I've grown up like my grandparents taking me to the park, feeding ducks, all the things that you're not supposed to feed ducks that we know now. But
ducks shouldn't have
having grown up around ducks, I had no idea.
Well, now you do.
Now I do.
That's why we're going to be doing this. Is going to be a lot of now you do. One thing so that's an interesting duck fact. It's not mind blowing, but what is mind blowing about ducks, and we've got a couple other duck related things coming up, but this is what really blew me away. Nathaniel, you and I are both have backgrounds in audio.
Yep.
Okay. Echoes, they're a thing. They happen. And it's, you can hear it at the Grand Canyon. You can hear it in caves. You can hear it in large hallways. You get echoes. However, a duck's quack doesn't echo anywhere for any reason, and no one knows why.
What?
That's the thing. No one knowing why. Okay, so they don't echo. Okay, I don't understand. I don't know in the minutia of why that would happen. But what I don't understand is why there's not a scientist, why there hasn't been some sort of study that figured out why no one knows why a duck quack won't echo for any reason.
I'm genuinely speechless. I did not expect... That just goes against everything I know about audio.
Completely. That's the mind blowing thing. There's an
echo in this room. Like
everything has got an echo, except a duck quack.
Huh.
Well, if that blew your mind, I think this is going to even do as good a job.
Okay.
The eyes of an owl. For the letter E, eyes of an owl. Owl eyes are not round like pool balls, ping pongs. They're tubular. And if you're watching right now, you can see my eyes going left, going right, going left. Owl eyes can't do that. They're fixed straight ahead, but they actually have a 360 degree vision. The reason is because their neck will allow their head to turn 270 degrees in either direction, allowing for 360 degree vision. Pretty wild.
That I knew owls could turn their heads, but I had no idea that they turned their heads because they can't move their eyes.
Their eyes are fixed perfectly straight. Now that's interesting, but the real thing that I learned, owls have freaky long legs. Have you seen a video of an owl walking?
Yes. Like without fur?
Oh my God. Well, and sometimes they have the little furry legs, but they're so skinny. And it's like, if an owl is 6 inches tall, like from body to top of the head, the legs are like 9 inches long. And it's freaky deaky the way they walk. They're like creeping around. It's like me getting a snack in the middle of the night, how I walk. It's just
your head
freaky. I was really surprised by that. And actually at some point I'd love to be able to include videos in this podcast to where we can show you this. So we'll work on that because what people need to do now though, pause this podcast and just Google owls walking. You will laugh and you will laugh.
Owls walking, ducks quacking. I'm going to have so much research. You're the one supposed to be doing the research for this podcast, Brandon, not me. And I'm feeling like I'm already walking away with like, I need to look this up. I need to look this up. I need to look this up. Like I can't just do a little blurb. I need more.
We've got to get in and out of this thing in 26 minutes. At some point, some of this research is going to have to fall on you. Just if you want to learn more about it, you're going to have to dive in.
That's fair. That's fair.
Speaking of time, let's move along. For F, right. And F is something that I was blown away how much I fell in love with this bird as a result of it. It's the flamingo, all right? Okay. A video went viral a little while ago, what looked to be like two flamingos fighting. And what was happening was the male flamingo has his beak ingrained in the female flamingo's head. And then there's blood dripping down out of the male flamingo's face. And it's just covering the female's face with all this red blood. And it's just like, it's a horror scene. It's horrific.
Yeah,
it's horrific.
Sounds it.
Well, you know what they're doing? They're feeding their kid.
Probably. Wait, what? I was going mating.
No,
I didn't know why that was the way I was going, but what? They're feeding a kid?
Two flamingos are actually feeding a baby chick in this video, and it looks like blood, but what it's actually called is something called crop milk. Now, I don't know anything about that. Didn't dive into it any further, but crop milk is like the stuff in their digestive tracts. You know how birds, they regurgitate.
Yep.
All right. So they're regurgitating this stuff that looks exactly like blood. I mean, and it's horrific. It's going through like the female flamingo's eye, and it's like,
where's the
it's
kid?
Horrible.
Is it like beneath them?
That's what's happening, is that the blood is coming from the male's mouth onto the female's head and then out the beak of the female into the baby flamingo's mouth. And by the way, have you ever seen a baby flamingo? They're not pink. They're gray and they're horrible looking. And, but yeah, no, they're feeding their babies. So if you see this in the wild in Florida, their flamingos turns out they're all over the world. It's chill. As a matter of fact, they're just feeding the baby.
I'm going to have to, okay, add that to the list of things I'm looking up afterwards.
Well, and I think this next fact on flamingos is actually tied to it, because do you know why flamingos are the color that they are?
No. They look fabulous, though.
They're extremely fabulous, and the color of their feathers is totally related to their diet. Actually, it's pigments in their food called carotenoids, and it's responsible for the red and pink colors of their feathers. So basically, if you eat shrimp and algae and crustaceans all day, don't expect to have a little pinkish hue to you. Watch out.
Huh?
Yeah.
Today I learned.
How tall do you think a flamingo is?
4 feet.
That's exactly right.
Oh, nailed it.
Yeah, they weigh about 8 pounds, about 4 feet tall. One thing people don't realize. Yeah. Birds don't weigh much. That's one thing that's consistent across the board here, is their bones are like hollow, and the whole flight thing.
Yeah, but flamingos can't fly, can they?
Yeah, you bet.
Oh, okay.
You bet. Oh, their wings, I mean, 4 feet, I think 4 to 5 feet.
Whenever I think about flamingo, I always think of like the one leg thing. I never really think about a flamingo flying.
Yeah, that's true. Plastic long flamingos, right?
Yeah.
Cultural icon introduced in like the late 50s. There are actually more fake flamingos on Earth than real ones. Turns out.
Oh, good job, capitalism. Good job.
Yeah. Flamingos also pair for a lifetime. They'll stay with their mate for over 50 years. And the thing I took from that was flamingos live 50 years.
That was exactly what I was. Damn, that's a long lifespan for a bird.
Who would have thought?
Well,
who would have thought?
I assume. I, again, don't know much about birds, so maybe it's a normal lifespan for a bird?
No, it's definitely not. Most birds, some do live very long, 80 years in some cases.
Yeah, like parrots.
But most, like in the wild, it's like 6 years, and that's it.
Makes more sense. All right.
Okay, letter G. That's for the gray parrot. The African gray parrot. This parrot can say over 800 words. All right. Most species of parrots can learn about 50. But the thing that I took from it was, 800 words. You know how many people are walking up to that parrot going, "Polly, want a cracker?" All right. And the parrot's all, "Well, actually, I could give you a dissertation on a variety of different subjects." And it's all, "Polly, want a cracker?" The bird's like, "Well, yes, Polly does want a cracker." It's like, that's 800 words. I don't use 800 words.
That's actually, now I'm wondering what, I mean, I would like to think I know more words than an African gray parrot, which also kudos on picking something that starts with an A and something that starts with a P and using it for G.
It's a gray parrot. It's just from Africa, you know? This was difficult, man. There's a lot of great bird facts out there, but one for each of the letters of the alphabet. Come on.
That's the whole point of the show. That's the challenge. And also the fact that you've only got 10 and a half minutes left for a lot of other letters. I don't know the alphabet well enough to just say off the top of my head how many.
Then we're going to get going. The next subject is the letter H, and that's going to be for hummingbirds. They are the smallest migrating bird. They don't migrate or flock like other species typically do. They travel alone, and sometimes up to 500 miles at a time. Obviously, I think you can guess where the name hummingbird comes from.
The humming of their wings?
That's 100% accurate.
Okay. Man, I was hoping.
Yeah. It's also
wrong.
What was that?
I said if I get that wrong, I wasn't living it down.
Yeah, exactly. Hummingbirds, also the only bird that can fly backwards, which pretty cool.
Yep. I've seen it. I love them.
Yeah, if you want to attract hummingbirds, they have no sense of smell, which is unique, but they have tremendous good color vision. So ruby red stuff, a lot of red plants, and that will bring in a lot of hummingbirds. Average hummingbird weighs less than a nickel. We were talking about owl legs. Hummingbird legs, they can't walk. All right? They literally perch or they're flying. There's no walking for a hummingbird. But it made me think of, what would a hummingbird look like if it was walking? It'd be kind of cute. Just these little tiny...
I just want to know how much a nickel weighs.
Ooh. Haven't bought a nickel in a while. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, what? Great. It weighs as much as a nickel. Yeah. How much does a nickel weigh? I have no idea.
Nickels don't weigh much. I can say that.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. Well, since I'm gonna skip some stuff. Let's get moving along. Go. All right. So for I, it's a thing. Another awesome one. It's a thing. A group of crows is called a murder or a congress. A group of owls is called a parliament, a wisdom, or a study of owls. Now, my favorite one though is a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance.
Yes.
Flamboyance
of flamingos.
Just to be able to walk up to and see a group of flamingos and go, "Oh, that's quite a flamboyance of flamingos," is now a bucket list thing on my life. So next time I'm in Florida, watch out.
Also, I want It's a Thing to be a recurring thing now. Every episode, it's a thing. I like that.
J for Jays. That's right.
Like blue jays? Okay.
There's all sorts of jays. One thing, jays. There are blue jays, but here's the deal with blue jays. They aren't blue. They're not.
I've seen them.
Oh, I know. With your eyes, it seems to think that they're blue. Now, this is the part that really messed with me.
Okay. Hit me.
Blue jays are actually, it's a trick of light. Okay. Now, and this is the thing that's messed me up. When I was reading about it, it said, for example, a northern cardinal is red because its feathers are red pigment. Okay. Blue jays have no such blue pigment. Now, this is the weird part. And this is verbatim. This isn't my words.
Okay.
If you crush the wing of a cardinal into powder, that powder will be red. Okay. However, if you do the same with a blue jay feather, that powder is brown.
We here at 26 and 26 would like to say we do not advocate violence against any birds.
Yeah. Don't crush birds into powder. Who's crushing birds into powder? I just don't get it.
Condor, or not condors, vultures. Vultures, they're dropping them and crushing them.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I'm just picturing the guy with the mortar and pestle going, like making guac. We got time issues. K.
You have time issues.
Is a large, noisy bird. Forests in the islands of Australia, Tasmania, New Guinea. It's loud. Its distinctive call, though, sounds like human laughter. Imagine being in the outback and you just hear this. I'm out. I'm out. This is why I don't go to Australia. have a lifespan of about 20 years. They're not very big, only weigh about a pound. The bill's up to about 4 inches long, and they eat meat. So it's laughing and it eats meat. I just have no interest in that whatsoever.
And it's sitting in an old oak tree.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in it. L for a lake duck, specifically the Argentinian lake duck.
Okay.
While most male birds do not have a penis, the Argentinian lake duck, its penis can extend 17 inches long.
Did you just penis shame me with a duck?
Yeah, well, I think this duck is penis shaming a lot of different creatures. It's the longest of any bird known. The duck itself is only 16 inches tall, so its penis is longer than the entire length of its body. The base of the penis is covered in this with coarse spines, so it's horrific. And the tip is like a brush with little. Don't Google that. That's one actually. Don't Google. We won't be sharing a link. It's horrible, and on top of it, it's corkscrew shaped, and it retracts into the duck's abdomen. So I think on that note,
but it is showing.
Yeah. Oh, we can probably just move right along into
Please,
M.
I don't even want to waste your time.
Yeah. Another duck though. It's the Madagascar pockard, not pollard, pockard. It's estimated to only have 25 remain in the wild. So that's the rarest bird on the planet right now is the Madagascar pockard. Do you know what the most common bird in the wild is, or most common bird on this planet is?
Most common bird or most common duck?
No, just the most common bird, period. So the rarest bird is pigeon. That's great. That's a good idea. But it's the domesticated chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay. Chicken tendies.
Some nuggies. N for nests. The bald eagle builds the largest nest of all birds, measuring 9.5 feet across. That's the largest nest in the world. Imagine just coming across a nest that's 10 feet wide almost.
That's huge.
It is. All right, time. Let's get going here. Ostriches.
Go.
Ostriches have the largest eyes of any living animal on the planet. Their massive eyes are about the size of a billiard ball. And
huge.
Largest animals that live on land, I should clarify.
It doesn't have that big of a head.
No, it's actually, that's the whole point. Also, ostriches, I found out, are the closest modern relatives to the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, no, it's weird. One thing that's not as terrifying, they're kind of decent dudes. The ostrich is the only bird that will willingly take care of other females' eggs. So they're kind of like, hey, let's all pitch in. Takes a village.
That's adorable.
Yeah. All right, this was my favorite bird that I learned about. P for the peregrine falcon. The peregrine falcon.
You started telling me this the other day and got too excited about it.
Dude, it is mind-boggling. I can't believe it. Okay, it's the fastest flying bird, period. How fast do you think this thing can travel?
I don't know. At this point, you've blown my mind with enough facts. 100 miles an hour.
240 miles an hour it can reach in its controlled dives. 240 miles an hour. Now, I have to say this. In studying birds, it's come up a lot. This is actually like one of the more, headline facts. That number is varied from 180 to 240 I've seen.
Oh, yeah, because 180 is slow.
Yeah, there are small planes that don't achieve that kind of speed. I mean, that's insane.
Formula One race car.
Oh, completely. And when you consider it's only about its wingspan's 3 to 4 feet, weighs 2 to 3 pounds. I mean, think of the force versus size.
Yeah, incredible. And that's not going to be like gravity's really not. I mean, gravity's a factor, but that weight, that's not going to.
Yeah. Moving along, we got to get going. Actually, I've lost the clock. How am I doing on time? Give me an update.
You're at a minute.
Quails. They walk backwards to see from time to time. they're not sure why they do that, but quails are the only bird that lays eggs while they're just walking. There's not a process. They'll just out of nowhere, an egg will fall out of them. There's just no reason. It's also the only bird that when they first crow, they lose. They don't. It shocks them. Like they're always surprised every time they crow. They're like, "What the hell was that?" Moving along, ravens. Oh my God. Ravens are so smart. I didn't realize this, but they're ranked up there with chimpanzees and dolphins in terms of intelligence. They do tests. They use tools. One thing that ravens have been captured doing is they push rocks on people to prevent them from climbing up trees. They've stolen fishermen's lines out of ice holes. What? So they're like literally they're incredibly smart. Now I've got so much more on ravens. I wish I could share.
Give me the next letter because you're running out of time.
Skeleton. Birds' feathers weigh more than its skeleton. So whatever the feathers weigh, the skeleton will weigh less.
Time.
I did not get far at all.
I'll give you this.
Talk to me.
Got farther than I thought you were going to get because as excited as you've been about this, and especially with the amount of time that it took us to get through like F, I was expecting us to fall short right around to M. So kudos.
First time out. This was our first official, so we've done a couple practice runs, and I did better. This subject has surprised me how excited I got for birds.
This was really, really cool. I liked everything that you threw at. There really wasn't even the weaker facts were still fascinating.
Can I give you one more? Let me give you one more. One more. All right. It's the Baseian thrush, or as I said, T for thrush. Okay. If you're hungry and you go looking for some food and your favorite food is worms, you know there's some worms in the dirt that you can reach, but you can't see them because they're hiding. What do? The Baseian thrush farts at them.
What?
Yeah. This bird will find a little wormhole. It will then fart in said wormhole, and then when the worms react to the gas, it startles them, and the earthworms start moving. Once the worm moves, the bird can identify where they are and gobble. The Baseian thrush bird. It's a bird that I can, relate to.
I'm so glad we ended on a fart. Oh, that's
pretty wild, though, huh?
That's because I was immediately thinking of the I don't know if it's a thrush, but there's a video of a little bird and it's doing like a little like sway back and forth. I've always seen it. The GIF version's always been accompanied with like swiggity swooty, and it's just got some swagger moving forward, and it's dancing to bring the worms up to the surface. And I always thought that was kind of cool, but farting is I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Way to
a bird after my own heart.
or something. All right, Brandon,
so
take us out of here.
All right, we got to give some thank yous to some people. The music that you heard in this episode was created by the great and powerful Mike DeChico. If you want to hear more of his music, you can hear that exactly. Applaud. You can hear that at domesticatedrobot.com. Mike DeChico provided us with that music today. Yes. Greatly appreciative for that. Something else I'm appreciative for is you, Nathaniel. Couldn't do this without you, buddy.
Oh, there we go. I got to sit up a little bit so you can see me. There we go. Aww.
Sit up and take a compliment, damn it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed the journey of building this. You and I have become closer friends, and I've learned production elements I didn't know, and this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you as well, and this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to seeing what becomes of this.
Oh, thank you, buddy. And so do I. I'm looking forward to diving in deep once we're like, what are we going to talk about next? Because now it's easy. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can talk about. But once that list gets short, then I'm going to be like, all right, let's see what we can do here.
Well, hopefully we haven't annoyed, the three people that'll be listening to this thing, and they might be able to give us some ideas. Hi,
and
Mom.
speaking of those three people, it would be absolutely insane to see that even a single person actually watched or listened to this. So if you are that one insane person, you absolutely have to rate, follow, subscribe, comment, wave, whistle, whatever it is. Please do so on any of the various streaming platforms. Nathaniel, where can they hear us, or where can they, rate, follow, subscribe, and hit buttons and stuff that I'm not familiar with?
Well, I believe it's going to be a rate and follow on Apple Podcasts. Excellent. It's going to be smash the like and subscribe on YouTube.
Smash it.
We're going to go up on SoundCloud as well. Cool. And we'll be on Spotify and a bunch of other formats that honestly we've got one source that we upload to and it just kind of disseminates it. So, but you can find us at a website that we're going to make soon. I just realized that we don't have one. Yeah. So we'll get on that.
However you listen, we would love your feedback, and we'll most likely do whatever it is you say. Any suggestions, we're on it. That's probably
within reason.
I have such low self-esteem that I'm a pleaser. Whatever you want us to do, we're going to do it. If you're saying, take your shirt off, we'll do it.
We've already talked enough about penises today.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Nathaniel. We now leave you with love and light and this. Don't play leapfrog with a unicorn. G. Augustine, 1964. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time with camping.
Hey friends, Nathaniel here. Since recording this episode, we haven't stopped working to make sure this is available anywhere and everywhere. We're still finalizing some things, but for now, you can find everything you need for your A to Z needs at www.26in26.com. Those are the numbers 26in26.com. Thanks for joining us on this crazy adventure, and we love you all.